This is Get Real and Heal for Type A women executives and entrepreneurs, where we discuss all things emotional healing and the relationships with yourself, your man, and your money. I'm your host, Jamila McMallow, wife, mother, certified cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner, mindset and relationship expert with over 20 years coaching and mentoring experience. I know that when you're the one that everyone else leans on, the leader and the trailblazer, it can be difficult to let your guard down, be vulnerable, and tend to your own emotions. So I hope today's discussion will allow you a moment to experience a life-changing realization, perhaps even a transformation. So let's begin and get real and heal. Well, hello, ladies. So we know the old adage that good help is hard to find. Well, good advice can be hard to find too. And especially if you are a woman that is in one of two categories. If you are a woman that is single and you're desirous of being happily married to a good man, or if you are already happily married to a good man, it can be hard to find good advice. And the reason for this is because some women believe that because they got out of a bad relationship, that now qualifies them to give relationship advice. Well, the truth is, it does qualify them to give advice on how to navigate being in a bad relationship. That's their experience. However, if you want to be in a happy, healthy relationship with a good man, a single woman who has never accomplished that, what can she possibly tell you? Something she read from a book or learned at a workshop? I mean, her own life doesn't even prove that her advice works, because if it did, where is her good man? Now, you all know who Tony Robbins is. He's a big personal development guru. And he said, if you want to be successful, find someone who has achieved the results you want and copy what they do, and you'll achieve the same results. So what exactly is it that you can copy from her? What exactly is it that she's going to be able to tell you about your life that there is no evidence of it working in her own? And if you're a happily married woman, or maybe you have a good man and maybe you're not as fulfilled as you want to be, you have a good man, your marriage is healthy, but I've had clients who have not been as fulfilled as they would like to be, and it had nothing to do with their husband. Well, those are not conversations that a single woman who's never been happily married to a good man is going to be able to advise you or help you to navigate on, okay? And so for me, I overcame a 14-year toxic marriage, did my healing work to strategically prepare so that I could attract and succeed in a happy, healthy relationship with a good man. And here's the thing, it worked, okay? I met my husband just 1 year after my divorce was final, and we were married less than 6 months later. Check it. That was 8 years and 3 kids ago. Okay, so this isn't like, oh, I just did it and I'm a newlywed and now I'm telling everybody about, how great it is to be married. It's so funny. It makes me think of that quote. Somebody said, I'd love to have all the confidence of a 23-year-old life coach. So it's kind of the same thing, So I'm not like some newbie like, hey, I just accomplished this, I've got some highway miles on me here. You understand what I'm saying? And so my point is, I'm sharing this with you today to say that, number one, if you're single, you do not have to be single for years to be ready for a new relationship, a happy, healthy relationship. You don't have to stay single for years. It's not the length of time, it's what you do with the time that you're moving forward, that you're actually doing your healing work. And listen, it requires us getting help. It requires investing into yourself, okay? The quality of the tools you use determines the quality of what you're able to create. So if you're just binging YouTube videos, which is a great place to start, okay, binging podcasts, which is a great place to start, you're feeding yourself the right things, but you haven't invested in working with someone one-on-one to help you with your specific challenges and issues so that you can be successful, well, you're selling yourself short. And what you're really doing is you're taking the long scenic route, because it's going to take you longer. It's going to take you longer to get there. The other thing I want to say is that when you're single, putting yourself out there before you've done your healing work is a waste of time and leads to more heartache. I hate when I have so many women that come to me and they're talking about all these online dating nightmares they're having, and they haven't done any of their healing work. And I'm thinking, who exactly is it that you think you're about to attract out there? Who? You are still a magnet for all the things that you don't want, because you haven't changed the underlying things that are going on a subconscious level that are making you a toxic man magnet and good guy repellent. Or if one shows up in your life, you don't know what to do with him. You're not drawn to him because he's so unfamiliar that it feels too foreign, and you end up pushing him away or not trusting the situation. Okay? And then what else I want you to know is that you're not weak, desperate, nor needy, because you want to be loved and led by a good, caring, masculine man. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And let me be clear, when I say masculine, I'm not talking about being domineering. I'm not talking about being tyrannical. I'm just talking about a man being a man. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? So stop hiring and following people who do not have the life and relationships that you want. Like that quote from Tony Robbins, how can they show you the way? They haven't been. See, my life is my first and best testimonial for any and everything that I do with my clients, okay? Now, I am by no means perfect, and I do not have it all figured out. Yet I have accomplished and possess the expertise in the areas that I guide my clients in, okay? So here's the thing. You get to decide if you want a guide that's been down this path before and knows the way and the pitfalls and, the ways to work around things, or you get to decide to use someone who's just relying on a map with no familiarity of the area or the landscape, none. So I tell you all these things because I want to encourage you to choose wisely as you navigate through your healing, as you seek advice, whether you're single or married. Choose your source wisely, okay? Because that's the key. Because if you're listening to people who don't have what you want, where do you think that's going to get you? Or if you're listening to people who haven't been where you want to go, where do you think you're going to end up as far as a destination? Choose wisely. Okay? That's what I got for you today. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Be sure to visit CoachJamila.com, where you'll find the links to connect with me on social media and more information on my private bespoke coaching for Type A high-performing women executives and entrepreneurs.